Tonight, the Manhattan District Attorney announcing an investigation involving Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell after multiple women have come forward alleging sexual misconduct by the California gubernatorial candidate, including one allegation of rape in a New York hotel room. Swalwell is denying the accusations, calling them absolutely false. The accusations have led to a swell of Democrats and key labor unions to drop their endorsements of the 47-year-old, many urging him to end his campaign for governor.
Ladies and gentlemen, we may finally be seeing accountability because Eric Swalwell is under investigation by the Manhattan District Attorney, and this is happening all while his campaign is literally falling apart. We're talking about everyone that's working on his campaign is quitting by the hour, and a lot more that we're going to get into throughout today's video, so stick around. You don't want to miss this one. Let us get into it, starting with this article that's titled Manhattan District Attorney Launches Investigation into Sexual Assault Allegation Against Eric Swalwell. And the article reads, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office said Saturday it is investigating an allegation of sexual assault against Representative Eric Swalwell, a day after CNN reported that a former staffer for the California Democrat accused him of having sex with her when she was unable to consent. We urge survivors and anyone with knowledge of these allegations to contact our Special Victims Division at the listed number. Our specifically trained prosecutors, investigators, and counselors are well equipped to help you in a trauma-informed, survivor-centered manner. While I welcome this news towards accountability, what I'm not pleased about is that this is being investigated by Alvin Bragg, who's a left-wing Soros-backed district attorney that doesn't know how to uphold the law, that will do anything to help out their fellow Democrats like Eric Swalwell. But regardless of the fact, hopefully we can see some accountability, and here we have a clip of Eric Swalwell melting down, having a complete meltdown after all these allegations started coming to light. Play clip.
A lot has been said about me today through anonymous allegations, and I thought it was important that you see and hear from me directly. These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They are absolutely false. They did not happen. They have never happened. And I will fight them with everything that I have. They also come on the eve of an election where I have been the frontrunner candidate for governor in California. I do not suggest to you in any way that I'm perfect or that I'm a saint. I have certainly made mistakes in judgment in my past. But those mistakes are between me and my wife. And to her, I apologize deeply for putting her in this position. I also apologize to you if in any way you have doubted your support for me. But I think you know who I am. For over 20 years.
Yeah, I think the entirety of America knows who you are by now, Eric Swalwell, and it is not the man that you've been pretending to be over the past couple of years since you've been in politics. And here we have another bombshell article by Politico that's titled Swalwell Campaign Imploding After New Sexual Assault Allegation. And the article explains the dominoes tumbled quickly. Top staffers departed the campaign shortly before the Chronicle story published. Major endorsers began rescinding or pausing their support, and a pro-Swalwell Independent Expenditure Committee said it was suspending operations. Swalwell's two campaign co-chair, Representatives Jimmy Gomez and Adam Gray, called on Swalwell to drop out, a stunning rebuke from key surrogates who helped introduce Swalwell to power players in Sacramento. So as you can see, we have people fleeing his campaign, and people that supported him throughout this entire process, they're all jumping ship. And to make matters worse for Eric Swalwell is because, for one, we know that he's under investigation for the sexual misconduct. His campaign is falling apart. All of his allies, they're ditching him. And now we have members of Congress that are moving to expel Eric Swalwell from Congress, because here we have a tweet by Representative Anna Paulina Luna, and she states, I am filing a motion to expel Eric Swalwell from Congress. So right now it is fair to conclude that Eric Swalwell, he's done, he's cooked. Because here we have Representative Anna Paulina Luna moving to expel him, to kick him out of Congress. And here we have another tweet by Anna Paulina Luna where she states, so the Democrats, they don't want Swalwell to be governor of California. California, but he can stay a member of Congress. Are we running a halfway house for sexual predators in Congress now? No. The answer is no. He should not be allowed to stay in Congress. That was a Republican representative calling out the Democrats for their hypocrisy because they're calling for Eric Swalwell to drop out of the gubernatorial race, but not to resign from Congress. And it's getting so bad where now we have MSNBC or MS Now, they're calling out Democrats for this very same hypocrisy. Play clip.
The question is, will we start hearing calls from him to resign from Congress?
What have you heard from members of Congress?
I haven't heard that. We've heard from Democrats, again, scores of his closest allies who say he needs to drop out of the race, including Democratic leadership. Notably, they haven't called on him to resign. That statement last night from the top 3 members of Democratic leadership said we need an investigation, we need him to leave the race. It doesn't say resign. Right now, there are at least 3 Democrats who have called on him to resign outside of Capitol Hill: Tom Steyer and Katie Porter, two of his fiercest opponents in the race, and L.A. Mayor Karen Bass. So I think it's a question of, will we start hearing now from Democrats as this continues to unfold that he needs to leave Congress? And the pressure is going to mount on Capitol Hill. Jonathan, we were talking about this last night. The House returns to session on Tuesday after this 2-week recess. Lauren Boebert says she's going to introduce a resolution to censure Eric Swalwell. Anna Paulina Luna says she's bringing a motion to expel him. Now, will those have the votes? I don't know at this moment, but
I hope they do have the votes, I hope, because the American people, they're watching, because there's no way Eric Swalwell will be allowed to get away with this. Because for one, we know he got away with the whole Fang Chinese spy situation. There were no accountability at all. So hopefully we can see accountability this time around. Continue the clip.
If that is forced on the floor and there has to be a vote on it, it's going to put Eric Swalwell's colleagues on the record. You're going to have to make a tough decision when they have to cast a vote.
Or not tough decision.
Or not a tough decision.
To me, having been through reporting many a scandal like this has the feel of a 1-2. Call on you to get out of the race, give you some time, and then calls to leave entirely. But these allegations are very, very serious.
I do agree. These are serious allegations, and he needs to be held accountable. I'm not saying he's guilty. That's not what I'm here for. But at the end of the day, he's a member of Congress. So he needs to be investigated expeditiously, and be held accountable if there were wrongdoings. And here we have Republican gubernatorial candidate for California, Steve Hilton, where he made this post. Nancy Pelosi knew about the Swalwell allegations. Adam Schiff knew. The unions knew. They all knew. They endorsed them anyway. Democrats can spare us the outrage. They don't care about anything except their own power. This is a party collapsing into chaos, sleaze, and scandal. And the reason why he's making this post is because Nancy Pelosi came out and demanded that Eric Swalwell drop out of the gubernatorial race for California. And a lot of people fired back and said Nancy Pelosi knew about these allegations, that Nancy Pelosi tried to cover up for Eric Swalwell, especially for the Fang Chinese spy situation. And this is what we're seeing from the Democrats. They're all coming out. They're all demanding that Eric Swalwell, he drop out of the governor's race in California, but they're not calling for him to resign. And it's only a handful of Democrats. It's not the entirety of Democrats. It's only a handful of them. And this is the list right here. Play clip.
United because of, remember, this all goes back to, and here's the list. You would think that screen would be just overwhelmed with every Democrat leader of any stature, particularly the entire delegation of California Democrats demanding accountability. Because remember, if you go back to the height of the Me Too movement, there was a tweet that isn't aging well from then Congressman Eric Swalwell. In 2018, he put this up there, a simple message: support survivors, believe survivors, we are with you. Turns out,
and the reason why the Democrats, they don't want Eric Swalwell to resign from Congress is because they need his vote, because every vote matters, and they're willing to compromise on their so-called values to keep all the votes that they have. And here we have another video of Eric Swalwell where he's actually giving some advice to himself. Play clip.
You don't have to be a father of a little girl to care about the women who were exploited in this case. Everyone is sickened by it. I am a father of a little girl, and my promise to the victims is I will do everything, along with my colleagues on the Democratic side, to seek justice in this case. Are getting more threats than me. Jesse, wear masks in our community. You're terrorizing women. Real men don't terrorize women.
I agree. Real men don't terrorize women. And that brings us to the end of today's show. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think this investigation into Eric Swalwell will yield some type of accountability? Or will Alvin Bragg shove this under the rug? Also, please consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.